Hi, good evening. In this video, we are going to learn about excavation quantity takeoff in Revit. So here in this video, the concept is very important to understand. So here we are not calling it as excavation. So we are calling it as cutting and filling. Finally, what we need is the volume. Okay. So with the volume, we can find how much we are going to excavate and how much we are going to fill. So cutting and filling can be done by topo solid. Okay, so I have three type of topo solid. Okay, I think it's better to explain in a fresh project. I'm going to close this project. Okay, let's create a new project. I'm going to new project. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a procedure. Okay, so let us say I have a ground. Okay, so I'm going to make a ground. I'm going to massing and site, and I'm going to take topo solid. See here, I'm taking topo solid because this is Revit 2025. So in case if you're using an early version, then you should understand how to work with the topo surface. The concept is more or less similar. Okay, the logic is same. You just have to understand how this works. Now let's create a topo solid. I'm going to create a topo solid by sketch. Okay, and let's duplicate this topo solid as existing ground. Okay, so that we will know that it's existing ground, and I'm going to keep the thickness as 10 meter. So we should have the thickness so that we can excavate till 10 meter. And let's say okay. So this is existing ground, and I'm going to draw the boundary of the surveyed topo, and I can finish, and I can also modify sub element. So before I modify sub element, I want to show you how it will look in Revit 2025. It will look like a slab. Okay, it will just look like a slab. So once you draw the outer boundary, modify sub element, so try to put all the boundary point to an exact elevation. More or less you should keep the elevation. Let's say it is 0. Okay, so this is going to be the boundary of our building. Okay, so let's say this is our boundary of the building, and from here I'm going to excavate. Okay, so before excavating, so here now we just have to make sure that these points are from the existing ground elevation. Okay, let's say I have minus 50 mm, somewhere I have minus 50 mm, and somewhere I have plus 50 mm. Okay, so these are plus 50 mm, and let's say again minus 50 mm or minus 100. Okay, let's say these are minus 100 mm. So this is a existing ground profile. So this is a existing ground profile. Now after uh, after project, or for doing the project, I just have to excavate this ground. I just have to excavate this ground. Okay, so now I have to know the exact quantity, or more or less I should get the quantity. So for that, what should I do is I have to go to massing and site, and I have to take graded region. Okay, the graded region will give you how much we need to cut and how much we need to fill. Okay, so from there you can get the cutting and filling quantity. So before I go for graded region, I have drawn the topo solid and I'm naming it as existing ground, and I'm going to put this in existing face so that it will be easy to find. Okay, and then now I have to go to graded region. I have two options. I can take exactly as the existing one, then I can modify, or I can just copy the boundary and then I can modify. So let's take the first one. Okay, so before I go, so I'm going to make sure that the face is new construction, then go for graded region and then create a new topography exactly as the existing one, then select. So it's going to give the copy of existing topo solid. So we have all the points. So in case if you want to excavate, what do you need to do? You just have to select some point and mention the elevation of the point, right? Let's say I'm going to excavate this area. Let's say I'm going to excavate this area. The excavation going to be minus 2 meter. Okay, so I'm going to excavate this area. Okay, so for a better quantity, add point minus 2 meter, minus 2 meter from surface. From current level minus 2 meters. Okay, so from current level minus 2 meters. Okay, let's say these are my excavation points. Now you can see I can select, there are two topo solid in the same place. If I select, if I check the face, if it is new construction, then this is the graded region, and here I can find the cutting quantity. Here I can find the cutting quantity. Okay, if I give tab and select, I can select the existing ground, existing face, and here you can see there is no cut and fill property. Okay, so by this method you can calculate the quantity. In case if you want to take it as a schedule, then you can go to view, schedule and quantity, go for schedule and quantity, you go for topo solid, say okay, and then what we need the net cut and fill. Then what we need a mark or a level. Actually you just need, you need the name. Let's say you need a name, then say okay. Now you can see the first row is empty because for the first floor, first topo solid, we don't have any cut and fill. For the second one we have the cut and fill quantity. Okay, so whatever you see in the instance property, the same thing you will get it in the schedule also. Okay, so this is one way of taking the excavation quantity. This is one way. Okay, now I'm going to give you another method. Okay, this is one way. For a quick review, I'm going to tell you, you just have to draw the existing ground by topo solid. Then you have to go for graded region. First you have to draw it by this tool, or you can also import the CAD and you can model the topo solid. Then you go for graded region. So when you take a graded region, you have to make sure that so you're following the face of topo solid, and the better name the topo solid as existing ground and new ground, so that it will be easy to find the topo solid. And when you select the topo solid of new construction, you can find the cutting and filling quantity. In case if you want to schedule, you can schedule. So this is one method. I'm going to tell you another method. Okay, so I'm going to close this file. Let's create a new file. The first step is always same. Okay, what you have to do is you have to create an existing ground first. Okay, let's go to topo solid. So for now I'm going to create with the sketch. In case if you have a CAD file to make a topo solid, then you can use a CAD file or a CSV file. Now I'm going to create from sketch. I'm going to create with the sketch. Okay, so this is my ground, and I'm going to modify this element. And here, let's say I'm going to add some points, and these are 0 level. Okay, let's bring another one like minus 100. Okay, these are minus 100, minus 200, and these are minus 200. It's not from the surface. Actually, we should get it from the elevation, from current level, from elevation. Okay, elevation minus 200. These are minus 200 points. Let us just check quickly. Oh, minus 100, and these are supposed to be minus 200. And I'm going to put the new points, minus 500. Okay. These are going to be minus 500. Snap failed. Cannot be ignored. Why? I can also add a split line, say minus 500, then just to draw a line. Okay, so I can't go minus 500 because my slab thickness is less than 500. So that is why we should have the topo solid more than your level difference. 10 meter, let's say it is 10 meters. Okay. Plus 10 meters. It should be plus 10 meters. Okay, it should have a thickness so that they can mention the point. Okay, so let's go for minus 500. We can do it. Okay, we can give minus 500 now. Just to draw it as a line. So this is the existing ground. This is going to be the existing ground. Let's not get confused. Name this topo solid existing ground. Okay, and the phase going to be existing phase, so that when I select, I can read the name and I can read the phase. And I'm going to keep the phase as new construction, and then I'm going to take a copy of this by graded region option. Go to massing and site, take a graded region, go for the first option, create a new topography exactly like the existing one, and I'm going to select the topography. Okay, I have selected the topography. Now you can see net cut and fill is 0. Okay, this is what I need, and I'm going to duplicate and name it as new ground. Okay, this is a new ground. Only the name is different. New ground, new construction phase. Double escape. Now show phase as show complete. Okay, so that I can select only the new construction ground. Okay, so this is the new construction ground, and you can see here it is cut and fill mentioned as 0. Now for an example, I can tell you that I have a structural wall. Let's say I'm going to build a structural wall. For a structural wall, what I need? I need some foundation, right? Okay, let's say it goes 1.5 meter below. It can go up how much, however we need the height. They can give the height, so the wall is going down, and let's say we have a wall foundation. Go for structure, take a wall foundation and give wall foundation. Okay, now if I select, you can see cut and fill is 0, but if I join these two materials, before I join, I just take an, okay, I can show you clearly now. Okay, now it looks like these two are clashing. Okay, if I take a schedule topo solid, if I take a topo solid net cut and fill, that's what I need. Now it is showing 0, but I can cut the solid by any 3D item. So for that I can go to modify and cut the geometry, and if I cut with the wall and foundation, okay, now you can see this is cut for the wall and foundation, and I get the quantity of net cut and fill. How much we are cutting? If it is minus means we are cutting, if it is plus means we are filling. Okay, 4.55 meter cube of volume we are cutting it. Okay, so this is one way of finding it. Now I'm going to delete. This is one method. Okay, if I go to the same topo solid, now it will show 0 because I deleted the model which is cutting the topo solid. So with this technique we can actually calculate our excavation quantity. For that, we have to model the excavation profile. Let's say I'm going to create a model in place, 3D geometry, excavation. Let's take it as excavation, and I'm going to run a sweep. Mostly the boundary will be the bottom level, and we will have some 45-degree slope, right? So this is going to define the boundary. And if I go to 3D, I can edit the profile. Now you can see, let's say this is my cutting profile. Let's say from here I'm going to cut 45-degree, and then right, then again 45-degree I'm cutting. Okay, so this is my cutting profile. This is how I'm going to cut them. In the middle also I have to cut, so we should not forget that. Okay, let's go to create the extrusion. Then inside the boundary also we are going to cut with the extrusion. Okay. We are going to cut till here. We are going to cut. Okay, so I have drawn the cut profile and finish. Now you can see this is the cut profile. This is a model in place 3D geometry. We just have to create this profile. Once you create this profile, we check here now, it is showing 0, 0. Without the section box, I can show you. So this is the cutting volume, but we have to get it with respect to the existing ground profile. Okay. So now if I go to modify and if I cut geometry, select the topo solid and select the model in place point. If I double H, if I use a double H, I can temporarily hide the element, and you can see there is a void created in the topo solid. If I select the topo solid, it will show the cutting quantity, total excavation volume. Now it is showing 157.268 meter cube. Here if I view element ID, it will show excavation. So for this element ID, I have this much excavation. In case if you want to have another model in place, okay, so for example, I'm going to create another excavation. Let's say I'm going to create another one. Excavation 2. Let's say I'm going to cut again here. I'm going to cut here. Okay. Let's go to modify and cut. Select the topo solid. See here. Now this is the existing ground. Now I can go to cut, select the topo solid and select the model in place. Now there is a void created here. Now you can see in the instance property, it will show individual excavation. We have 2 excavation quantity. Okay, so this is for the first one, excavation. The element name also it is showing excavation 2 and showing the excavation volume. Okay, so I can also take this as a schedule. I can get it through schedule also. If I go to topo solid, I can get excavation, individual excavation volume on topo solid. Okay. If I say okay, so this is not showing any volume because we are not calculating the total. So let's calculate total. If you say okay, it's not showing still. Okay, let's go to sorting and grouping. Okay, you say okay. Still I'm not getting the same anything. I'm not getting the total excavation volume. So I have 2 volume, that is why I'm not getting it. Okay, let's take everything. Let's say okay. Still I have only 1. Okay, let's go to schedule and quantity, Toposolid, topography, toposolid. We go for topography. Topography. Let's go for excavation. Cutting and filling. Cut and fill. Okay. See, I'm not getting any value. Okay, that's fine. If I go to toposolid schedule, I'm not getting any value, but I think if I have one single item, then I will get it. Even now also I'm not getting the toposolid quantity. Okay, so I will check on that. But here I hope now you understand the concept, how to take the excavation quantity with the model in place option. Okay, you can use this method to calculate your excavation quantity. In case if you're having any doubt on this, then please let me know, or I will make another video to answer your question. Okay, thank you. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you. Bye bye. If you select the toposolid, you will get the individual excavation volume. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. Oh, it's not private. It's going to be public. Okay. So if you're having any doubt, then please ask in my